Hi, this is Roslynn Eve, and we're looking at another piece of inspiring, exciting artwork. Now, just so you know, this here is, well, I had this opened up just to let you guys know that you can find more of this artist's work here on Fine Art America. Whoops. But we are looking at where I found the actual artist. This is where I found the artist. And that would be on Artist Trying to Make a Living Creating. Okay, and this is where I found this artist that we're doing the mini analysis on today. And you're probably wondering, well, why did I pick this? But probably not, because you can see it's really good. And the reason why I picked this is because this one is actually a little bit unique. Usually, like for example, in Rembrandt paintings, it's mostly dark, so you're going to tend to mostly look at the light areas in Rembrandt's work, where in this one we're tending to want to look at the dark areas. And also normally in the light to dark range, being extreme is white and extreme is dark at the far ends of the ranges, light to dark, right? And then you've got medium dark, and then you've got medium, then you've got medium light, and then you've got all the way to white. Well, you can see that they've used pretty much the extremes, the white and the really dark black color, or very close to those. And then in the in-between, you can see that they've got sort of a full range here, which is really excellent use of that ingredient. However, like I said, normally you'll want to look at whichever is the smallest. If it's the light quantity or mass in total of what's in the image, then that's what you're going to want to mostly look at. Or if it's the dark and it's mostly, you see, and it's mostly light, and then you have a little bit of really, really dark, then you're going to want to look there. So in this case, you're wanting to notice the really light details too. And so that's unusual, and because normally you would only want to look at the light area, being the smaller portion of light to dark. But in this case, we're actually wanting to look at the dark. And the reason is because they took the light and they mixed it and put it right next to, so it really pops, the dark area. You see all this, really light with the dark. Whereas with the light here, there is no real contrast of dark. There's a little bit in here, but it's down in the medium area. It's not right up next to the really lightest part here. So that's why you're tending to want to look at the dark. And also, if you were to take this into your computer and look at it in grayscale or print it out in black and white on your computer, you would then see where those areas are that you want to look. It would really strongly show you, because it would be lacking the color in it, and these little bits of color would be gone. Then you would see why you want to look there. So this ingredient is done exceptionally well, is the light to dark range ingredient. You can see mood is showing up very strongly there in the face. So that one is a very strong ingredient and done really to a very good or excellent level. And lines, you do have some lines, but they're not strong or creating a main area of interest. So that one is there, but it's not a big player in this image. And details, well, you can see there's lots. That is done maximum use of detail, because you've got all these little details on the shoe. You've got the cigarette butts, the details with the cigarettes. You've got all these little details of color and light in this area. And all these little lines and such. So yeah, there's lots of details. That one is done to an excellent level as well. And the shadowing, the three-dimensional shadowing, you can see is very strong in this, how you've got your light and your dark areas and your three-dimensional areas with the cast shadows and everything. And it also helps to ground the main area of interest by showing the three-dimensionalness of it and that it's actually sitting on the floor. If the shadow was missing, wouldn't that look funny? So yeah, this is really excellent use of the shadowy ingredient as well. And like I said, the contrast. So every one of the ingredients is maximally used, except for the lines, which, that it doesn't have, not every ingredient has to be perfect. However, there is some color here, and it would be nice if the artist had used that either dark or the color to try to pull your eye just a little bit more out to here. Because your viewing window tends to be a little bit more in this zone here. And that's a little bit small for a viewing window. If we had some dark here, this was moved up just slightly, just that little bit to maybe there, the bottom of the bottle. If it was moved up slightly, if it was dark, had some dark with it, or if it was red, because then that would pull your eye all the way over to there and then over to here to the dark again. And then so you'd be getting a little bit larger viewing window and a little bit better place, because right now we're a little bit side heavy on the right side there. So like I said, it's almost a masterpiece. It's almost, but it's very exciting. And I hope you guys are finding it as exciting as I have. I also want to make a note here for you guys to notice that everything in this image is well contained within the image, as long as the main areas of interest are well contained. Notice that with the rule of thirds, that this here would be about a third of the way down from the top. So you go a third of the way down. So if you were to draw a line, that would be about a third of the way down, right? And a third of the way in would be about there. Okay, so notice that his face and the dark mass here is a third of the way in and a third of the way from the side, that is, and then down from the top, that this is about a third here. So his hat and him are on the third line cross point there and on the third line. So going all the way down to here to the other cross point. So notice that, because that also increases you wanting to look at that as being a main area of interest, because it's on the third line and it's on the third line. Okay, the dark space, that is. Okay, so I wanted to mention that, and I also wanted to mention how everything is contained well within. So there's no lines, there's no body parts or anything that's dangling off the edge of the image. There is no, anything that is actually even touching the edge of the image. So everything is extremely well contained too. So again, that's one of the ingredients, is having everything well contained within an image, and the placement on the third lines according to the rule of thirds. You can see that that is working really extremely well for this artist as well. So I also wanted you to take note of that too, because if you're an artist and you're creating stuff, then you want to know why his work is being so effective, so that you can use not necessarily paint the same painting, but if you understand what's making it effective, then you can use that in your own work to try to achieve that as well. So I hope that this has been interesting and exciting and inspiring as it is for me. I love looking at art, and especially wonderful art like this. Okay, so just so you know and that you have his name, there it is. So if you're looking for him on Fine Art America, there he is. That's his name. You could always try looking him up on, Googling or whatever. If you would like to try and Google him and see, that's his name. And if you are looking for me, this is my Facebook page, and it's called The Art Advantage, but it's also Practical Art Analysis. So this is the address there, and also this is my email, and of course, Practical Art Analysis and Practical Art Analysis at gmail.com. Okay, so if you want to find me, my fee page is there as well, and I do written ones, and I do little mini video ones as well. Now, so far we haven't done a full one because there's 40 ingredients, and a full one is looking at every ingredient and checking the checklist and seeing which ones apply and how much of an effect and if they're being effective, etc. So this is just the main ingredients that we're covering here, not every ingredient. So yes, inspiring art for sure. And if you've enjoyed it as much as I have, well, then I guess I'll see you guys next time, eh? Okay, thanks. Bye for now.